Well, a very good morning to you, Julians, there in studio. And here in Nairobi, it has been raining for the better part of the morning as people are really trying to come into work. But one thing that I have really realized this morning, Julians, is that the number of people who are even coming into town has greatly reduced. But we've also realized that business is going on as normal. Remember, yesterday there was that press conference by President Uhuru Kenyatta and that address to the nation, actually. And he was really mentioning some of the status that his government is now taking to combat this COVID-19. And one of the most affected places was Nairobi. Nairobi ranks at 82% with the number of infections that have been realized this far. So what is happening is that there was probably some bit of confusion on what measures the government will be taking, but it was clarified that everything will be happening in Nairobi as it should be. But there are things that are now going to be a common figure. Now, every time that you'll be walking within the streets of Nairobi, you must have masks. And this is actually one of the ways that the president is saying that we are going to be curbing the spread of this coronavirus. 82% out of all the 158 cases that have been mentioned is not a small feat. That is almost everybody. Now, the other counties are coming in 14%. That is the counties of Kwale, Kilifi, and Mombasa. But Nairobi being the hub, Nairobi being the entry point for most of the things that come into Kenya, Nairobi being the highest GDP, there is a level of concern when it comes to this particular county. So that is why President Uhuru Kenyatta for the next 21 days has said there is nobody who will be going out or coming into Nairobi County as a measure of containing this virus that has gotten the world almost on its knees economically. Now, yesterday night there were things that we also were able to see, and the police were able to erect roadblocks. I remember going home, I was on Wayaki where I encountered about 3 roadblocks. Now there is so much vigilance from police as they try to enforce this directive by President Uhuru Kenyatta. So the situation in town is that there are those who are coming into town, but everybody here has to come to either from Nairobi or its environs. So everybody is actually coming into work at this particular point. There is the matatus that are coming in, but the directive that was there is that the transportation that is going to be coming into town cannot come if it is from without the environs of Nairobi. So at a place in Athi River, there is a roadblock already. There is also one in Joska. There is another one in there is another one in Chania. There is another one in Uplands, Limuru. And all these are people who are being stopped. And remember, yesterday, there was a clarification that this does not only require vehicles that is by road, by what. It also means that even if you have a bicycle, you cannot come into Nairobi. Even if you are walking on foot, you cannot come within the territory that is Nairobi and its environs. And this is something that the government says it has to be very careful. Other people are interpreting this to mean that if you're in Nairobi, infect yourselves there in Nairobi and try to look for containment and all that, but do not take this particular virus into other parts of the country. But that is a thing that we are really watching out for here in Nairobi. Another thing that is happening today is that there will be the burial of former Archbishop of Nairobi, Ndingi Mwana Anzeki, and he will be buried at the Holy Family Basilica. There is a crypt for all archbishops who have been serving in Nairobi, and that space has actually been set for bishops who have served here, and all of them are going to be buried there. There is a special place that has already been set as a mass will be starting at 10 o'clock. Yesterday, the priest at the Holy Family Basilica was saying that it will be a normal mass that will involve about 100 people, and all of them are invited guests. These are close family members, probably some officials from the state, and also priests and bishops that have probably served before or with him, and all of them will be there. After this mass, they will go down. The crypt is actually it's a holy place where it's a tomb for priests and also archbishops who have served. And the only one who has been buried there was in 2018. That is Archbishop Njenga. And when they go there, there is a special place that has been set out for him. There are about 30 spaces that have been set out there. So from now, my camera person and I my camera person Adams Mulama and I will be going to the Mata Hospital, where there will be a procession that will be starting from there, coming all the way to the Holy Family Basilica, where this live event that will be televised by NTV will be happening. And it will only be open to a number of people, concerning and also putting into consideration the rules of social distancing, so that the Holy Family Basilica, it's a minor basilica, but it is big enough. Then the procession, with accordance to the Catholic rituals, will have to be performed there, so that he is buried, and it will be a 1-hour mass that will happen between 10 and 11, and all that will also be televised, and also we will know what gets to happen, because Ndingi Mwananzeki has actually been mentioned, and one of the people who are very critical of the government, and there are those who have been called upon to emulate him. But there is also the spirit and the thinking that with his going, it is also a blessing because he served this country well. Then there is other information that came in yesterday, Julians, and this is with regards to Parliament and its indefinite postponement of its sittings. And this is in regards to the directives that President Uhuru Kenyatta gave. There was supposed to be a special sitting slated for tomorrow. But there is the understanding and the thinking that every time a member of Parliament is not in session, this is for the National Assembly or the Senate, they are in their particular constituency engaging the constituents who give them an opportunity to come into Parliament. So it has been stopped, and the thinking is that these members of Parliament cannot come into town for that special sitting that is slated for tomorrow. And that is what will happen. And there was a joint communique that was given by the Speaker of the Senate and the Speaker of the National Assembly. And they said that in light of the ongoing recommendations by President Uhuru Kenyatta, then the sittings have been stopped or indefinitely, and this one we do not know until when, because this coronavirus pandemic has really taken the world by storm. Also important to note is that starting Friday last week, there were people from Lancet, Kenya, who came into Parliament and have been testing members of Parliament for the coronavirus. So we do not know what the results are, and probably this is information that is private with both speakers, and we do not know whether it is information that may have informed their communique that yesterday evening. So it is quite something that we are putting in. But another thing that my camera person and I have also noted is that there are a number of street children who are in town, and we do not know what the government plans with them, because these are people who, even when you walk at night, you will notice that they are even sleeping here in town. So this is something that the government or even the city county of Nairobi would want to look into, because every time you come into town, be it after the 7 o'clock curfew, they are here in town. And also when you wake up in the morning and you're coming to work, these are also people that you do see. So it is something that we're keeping an eye on, and here in the capital, and we'll be giving you information with regards to everything that is happening here in the city and the new regulations that are being given by President Uhuru Kenyatta. Back to you, Julians.